Okay guys, today I'm going to share with you the 3 secrets to a good toss. And these are things that have long been forgotten that are fundamentals that we should never forget. It will instantly make your serve better. So the first thing is going to be how we toss it. Now, there's a huge firestorm about this, and I am not a fan of tossing it in your palm. And Vic Braden, a well-renowned coach, even talked about this. So if you toss it in your palm, I mean, it's not wrong. Maybe you're more talented at it, but I think the general population is going to be better in the fingertips, and this is the reason why. If I toss it in the palm, look, it's rolling a bit. So we all know when we toss, we have to have a straight arm. So you have to keep this very firm and then release it at the perfect point. And mine rolls back and it ends up coming into me. So that's why I'm not a fan. I ended up copying Federer when I was younger. And what Federer did is he put it in his fingertips and actually just his 2 fingers and his thumb. Sorry guys, that video cut out, but I'm gonna post or put a video of Federer right here, and you'll see that he has it in his fingertips, and Murray's actually the same way. And how they start with their ball toss, they actually start with their arm straight like we talked about and inside on their leg. Okay, so I'm gonna go this way so you can see it. So I'm gonna go inside on the leg, and from there they go ahead and release it. Okay, and so if this is my base, this is the baseline right here. When I do this, they keep their arm either in line with the baseline, or their arm comes back and it goes in sort of a J motion. So it's coming in and then out. Now it's personal preference. I've done both, and I think I prefer the J motion more, where my arm's coming in and I'm releasing out, because that's forcing me, if you have trouble getting turned to the ball or to the court to get rotation, the arms go together and it sort of helps sync the timing together as you go. But their arms are straight. Fingertips is something I think you should go with, and then keeping the hand or arm, sorry, in line with the baseline or doing a J. I'm not a fan of tossing it out in front of you, and that comes from the renowned coach of Vic Braden. If you know who he was, way ahead of his time, fantastic coach. And he talked about the science behind having a toss go straight towards a net post. Yes, it's going to keep it more in front of you, but that's more for like a rec server when you're first teaching them, because what's going to happen when you toss straight ahead towards a net post? Well, you're opening up, you're not turning. So then you're going to toss it and then turn. Some players do it, but it's a little bit segmented. So you're never going to see that really with the pros. And again, I'll put some videos beside me, whichever side I decide to put it on, but of how they go ahead and keep their arms in line with the baseline. It's not actually going forward. That's more of the angle of the video. Okay, so the second thing is going to be, now we talked about the toss, fingertips, and the arm straight. The second thing that I'm going to be talking about here is the location. 1 o'clock is the best location, because for a righty, 11 o'clock for lefties. The reason being, if I'm going to throw a ball, I release a ball here at 1. My body gets behind the ball this way. If I toss it more behind me, it's just my arm going up. If you're struggling or maybe learning a kick serve, might tell you 12 o'clock. Or too far for a slice off at 2 o'clock. Again, it's just the arm reaching, right? So Gilles Simon did a video with the company head, and he did a short, I think it's like 3-minute video, and he talked about that, how you have the most strength here. Again, another top 10 player in the world saying this. He beat Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer in his career, so obviously he also knows what he's talking about quite a bit, right? So that's the second thing, is the ball toss. The location is at 1 o'clock. Now the third, the most important, probably the most important component that's overlooked, is the height of the toss. So many players, I want you to take out a camera, put it about the middle of the fence. That's where I have my camera right now, about the middle of the fence line, and have it horizontal here. And if your ball toss is really high and then going out of the picture, your ball toss is probably too high. Okay, we want to lower ball toss, and the best height for a ball toss is, I want you to stretch out your arm, and the middle of the racket is where you'll be making contact. If you throw it super high, it's actually going to be harder to time, because think of a baseball player, and bombs a ball, boom, you're out in the outfield. How hard is it to judge that ball coming down and catch out a fly? Really hard. Same thing if you're a kicker, or sorry, you're returning a kicker in football, their punt or their kickoff. So much harder because the gravity's pulling down that ball at such a fast rate, right? So why do we want to make it harder on ourselves and toss it up high and make the consistency so tough, right? We want a low toss, and the general guideline is the middle of the racket, which is stretched out, which is about 16 to 20 inches, okay? And there's two reasons for this, okay? One is the stretch shortening cycle, which is what the human body is based on, is how we explode. We're like a spring, right? Vertical jump. We don't just stay down, up, down really quick. Well, serve should be the same thing. The longer we hold in trophy pose, the longer we lose energy, okay? Now, there are exceptions to the rules, but I'm talking about for the majority, okay? So as we go, we make our toss, and we want to just go straight into that ball. And if the toss is lower, we have instant. It causes us to speed up and have instant speed because we don't have time to sit there forever. So one, that's going to make your serve more fluid. Two, that's going to make your toss more consistent. Okay, so that is going to be the biggest key. I bet if you go out there and try it right now, your serve will instantly improve. And when you do it, try a slice serve first. Now, I'm going to finish with this. If you don't believe this, I'm going to put some videos here of Federer and of McEnroe, and you'll see like how low the toss actually is. You'll realize the toss is pretty low because when they go, the toss is there for maybe a second, and then they go get it. And it's not really dropping unless they're doing more of a kick serve. Even with a kick serve, it's instantly boom, boom, okay? So that's a huge misconception. Go out with that camera, video your serve, and start tossing it lower, and I bet your serve will be instantly improved, all right? So those are the three components to make your serve better, all right? Until next time, guys.